Former partners and now rivals, Suzuki and TVS have taken different approaches in the 125cc scooter space. Suzuki went for practicality while TVS chose performance with the NTorq. Now, given the popularity of the NTorq, Suzuki wants a piece of the action and have got us the new Avenis. As you can clearly see, it is heavily inspired from the NTorq. Now, cloning the design is still easy, but can Suzuki clone the performance of the NTorq, which has made it such a rock star? Now, this comparo is gonna be an interesting one. Now, ideally, we should have started this comparo with performance, but for the sake of watch time, let us start with styling, which is quite interesting. As you can clearly see that the Avenis has taken design inspiration and some more from the NTorq. The shape of the apron, the profile, and even the rear section is exactly same as the NTorq, which isn't a bad thing as the NTorq is among the most attractive scooters on sale. However, we feel that Suzuki designers could have been a bit more original. Don't you think?
Having said that, there are some visual elements that differentiate both these scooters. The LED headlight shape is similar, but the positioning of the DRLs are different and even the apron design is sportier. The side panels are also sharper on the Avenis, and while the rear section does look the same, the Suzuki gets a split tail light while the NTorq has a T-shaped unit.
So as you can see, the Avenis design, despite being so similar to the NTorq, it does have some distinct visual elements. And in this bright blue shade and the MotoGP livery, it did attract a lot of eyeballs during the shoot. What do you guys think of the Avenis' design? Do drop your opinions in the comment section. Before we talk about performance, let us browse through the engine specs. As you can see, the NTorq has a distinct advantage over the Avenis, and it is the most powerful scooter in its segment. So this should be quicker, but that's not the case. As you can see in our test data, the Avenis is quicker than the NTorq. Surprised? Let me explain. You see, the Avenis is 10 kgs lighter than the NTorq, and this helps in posting quicker acceleration times. But the NTorq, it does have a trick up its sleeve, and it's called the race mode, which can be activated on the move using the starter switch.
Once in race mode, the timings are different. The Avenis still has the edge to 40 km per hour, but to 60 kmph, the NTorq fight backs, and till 80, the speeds are almost identical. However, at speeds above 90 kmph, the NTorq performs stronger and offers quicker overtakes.
Now, both these scooters feel peppy and offer brisk acceleration, which make them a hoot to ride in the city. The difference between the two is evident in roll-ons. The NTorq pulls away strongly while the Suzuki takes a bit of time to gather momentum. So in city riding, overtakes are easier and faster on the NTorq, where the Suzuki strikes back is engine refinement. Now, both the scooters are pretty refined, but the Suzuki Avenis feels a bit more sophisticated, both in terms of vibes and mechanical noise. Having said that, the NTorq does have a throaty exhaust note, which is more likable. So as you can see, in terms of performance, the NTorq still holds an edge, but the difference between the two isn't too drastic. So good job, Suzuki. Also, the engine nature is quite different. The NTorq feels more direct and has an on and off throttle, while the Suzuki feels a bit more mature and has a progressive throttle. But does this performance come at a cost? Let us check out their fuel efficiency numbers.
Fuel efficiency is another aspect where these two are pretty close to each other. The NTorq, when ridden in street mode, returned more frugal numbers than the Avenis in the city, while the Suzuki scooter fared marginally better on the highway. However, the TVS has a slightly larger fuel tank, which means better range.
Practicality is second nature for scooters. Let us check out what convenience features both the scooters have on offer. External fuel filler cap? Check. Remote unlocking it? Nope. However, on the Avenis, you can remotely unlock the seat. Under-seat storage space of both the scooters are pretty similar. The Avenis misses out on an under-seat light and the NTorq gets a USB charger under seat. But the Avenis does it better. It gets an external USB charger and you can keep your phone securely over here. Also, it gets an extra cubby hole on the right hand side, which the NTorq misses out on. The floorboard space of both the scooters are pretty good, but the Avenis does it slightly better and both the scooters get a brake lock clamp.
Both the scooters feature a digital instrument console that displays a ton of features, but one can change the layout of the display on the NTorq owing to the different riding modes. My grouse with the Avenis' display is that almost one half of the screen is empty if the rider isn't using navigation. Also, the NTorq has an advantage of voice assist and the rider can access more data via its app.
Now, despite having different wheel sizes, both the scooters feel extremely nimble and you can hustle them through city traffic. Yes, both the scooters have that tippiness associated with scooters, but it isn't clearly evident. The NTorq, which is larger wheel and fatter rubber, means it is more engaging and confidence inspiring when you're carrying high cornering speeds. So if you like apex hunting, the NTorq has the edge. The one aspect where the Avenis has the definite edge over the NTorq is ride quality. Now, I'm not saying that NTorq's ride quality is firm or stiff, but the Suzuki's suspension setup is just spot on. It glides over rough roads and makes the ride experience plusher and more comfortable.
Both our test scooters had similar braking hardware, front disc brake and rear drum unit. While the NTorq has lesser stopping distance, it lacks any feel and the brakes feel wooden. The Suzuki's braking feels more progressive and reactive at city speeds.
While performance is a key aspect for buyers in this segment, value too matters. In this regard, both the scooters are pretty close to each other. The TVS NTorq has been among our favorite scooters at ZigWheels and it recently won our Mega Scooter Comparo. But I must admit that the Suzuki Avenis did surprise us. Both the scooters offer you enjoyable performance without compromising on practicality, yet they are different too. The Suzuki Avenis offers you performance with comfort and is more sophisticated. Having said that, it has one big problem, that it doesn't set any new benchmark. The NTorq, on the other hand, offers you sportiness and performance. In this Race XP variant, it has regained its mojo, which it had lost a bit in the BS6 transition. The NTorq remains a pakka performance scooter that will enthrall enthusiasts, and for this reason, it wins this comparo.